Stars of the midnight ranges, shining through the night. Stars of the midnight ranges, light my way tonight. While my herd is grazing, guide them till the dawn. Watch them while I'm sleeping, till the stars are gone. Candles up in heaven, lend your lost strength, guide my weary doggie. Stars of the midnight rain.
Be sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. Millions of hearts have been broken just because these words were spoken. I love you, yes I do. I love you. If you break my heart, you'll die. So be sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie.
Be sure it's true when you say I love you, honey. 'Cause you got sense enough to know it's a sin to tell a lie. Whole lot of folks' heart is done been broke. Just over a whole lot of foolish words that's been spoken.
I love you, yes I do. I love you. If you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure it's true when you I love you. It's to tell a lie. sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. Millions of hearts have been broken.
To the town of Alfrea rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip. And he's here to do some business with iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was a Santa killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. And he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. The outlaw didn't worry men that tried forward. 20 men to take him, 20 men had made a slip. One would be the ranger with the biggest hip. Big iron on his hip. The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather for a bullet fairly ripped, and the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Big iron, when he tried to match the ranger with the on his hip. Big iron on his hip.
I've wrangled and I've rambled and I've rodeoed around. I never once thought of settling down. Darling, the moment I laid eyes on you, I knew my rambling days were through.
Made up my mind.
Let's ride into the sunset together, stirrup to stirrup, side by side. When the day is through, I'll be here with you. Into the sunset we will ride. Yodelay-hoo, yodelay-hoo, yodelay-yodelay-yodelay.
I'll be your cowgirl, you'll be my cowboy.
You'll be my Dale, I'll be your Roy. When the day is done, homeward we'll be wending, like a movie with a happy ending. Let's ride into the sunset together, stirrup to stirrup, side by side. When the day is through, I'll be here with you. Into the sunset we will ride. Yodelay-hoo, yodelay-hoo, yodelay-yodelay-yodelay. Yodelay,
see that lone star from 1,000 miles away, calling me back home, though I ventured far astray. When I see that beacon shining for me all alone, it calls me back to Texas and to home. Lone star, shine down on my hometown, fill my memory, light my way. Cattle in the old corral, the open range all round, sunlight and the smell of new mown hay. I remember though I've wandered and much happiness I've found, still I wish that I could be back there today. I know my home is waiting for me by the river's shore. I know that all the ones I love would welcome me once more. In dreams I see them now, though it seems I'm bound to roam. My thoughts are still of Texas and of home. And the smell of new mown hay. I remember though I've wandered and much happiness I've found, still I wish that I could be back there today. I know my home is waiting for me by the river's shore. I know that all the ones I love would welcome me once more. In dreams I see them now, though it seems I'm bound to roam. My thoughts are still of Texas and of home.
Heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end. Heartache number one was when you left me. I never knew I could hurt this way. And heartache number two was when you came back again. You came back but never meant